Hello, guys and girls. This is Wager Detective right back at you. We're going to get into this cap between the Dodgers and Twins tonight. Today is June 22nd, 2026. This is Wager Detective coming to you live from the Tropicana, reporting live from Tropicana Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. Before we get into this cap, be sure to follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Set alerts on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, drop comments everywhere. The Wager Detective report up daily on Twitter and YouTube, and there's nobody on the internet doing it quite like this with the stats, trends, angles that Wager Detective is digging for daily, and one of the best cappers in the world right here. So we're going to get into this cap right here, and we're going to start it off, and we'll get into the Dodger side of this. The Dodgers are 6-4 in their last 10 games. They're 12-8 in their last 20. They're 12-11 in one-run games and 17-10 in interleague play. Now, the Dodgers are 0-0 in extra inning games this year, so they haven't played in any extra inning games, which is quite amazing for a team that's played 78 games, not one extra inning game. So very interesting there. Now, two different dynamics here. The Dodgers are coming from home to the road, and then the Twins are coming off of the road, and then they're coming home. So I think the Dodgers have a little bit of an advantage there. But when we look at these pitching matchups, you'll see where a trend might be leaning in this cap. So let's get into the Dodgers. Dodgers 6-3 in their last 9 versus the Twins. They're +6 in the run differential department in those 6 wins and 3 losses. 3 over and 6 under in the last 9 meetings between these two teams. 45-39 run scored advantage for the Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers are 7-1 in their last 8 at Minnesota, and this is dating from 2014 to 2024. So not much stock in that when you look at that, but the Dodgers are 7-1 in their last 8 at the Twins, plus 24 run differential there, 2 over and 6 under. And in the last 9 games, so in road night games this year, the Dodgers are 13-12. Now, that doesn't really tell you a lot, right? Because they're plus 49 in the run differential department in their 25 road night games this year. 9 over, 6 under. They're scoring 5.24 runs per game to 3.28 for their opponents. That's a 131-82 run scored advantage for them. So 13-12 in road night games, but I think the bigger story there is plus 49 in the run scored differential there. Now, if we look at their last 9 overall, they are 5-4. They're -10 in the run differential, 4 over and 5 under. In their last 9, they're scoring 3.55 runs per game to 4.66 for their opponents. So not playing all that great, 5-4, but the run differential tells you that, teams are outscoring them in those last 9. But if you look at their road night overall, 13-12 plus 49 run differential, 9 over and 16 under in their road night games this year. Now, when we look at the interleague action here, 17-10. Dodgers are 17-10 in interleague play. They swept Tampa Bay, they swept Toronto, they swept the Angels in interleague action this year. 17-10. They're plus 45 run differential in those games. Six of those 17 wins only did come by 1 run. And in their 27 interleague games this year, they're scoring 5.29 runs a game to 3.63. Again, that's 143-98 run differential advantage for them in interleague action, and they swept 3 teams from the American League this year: Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Los Angeles. Now, if we look at who's going to be on the mound, we're looking at Eric Lauer, left-hander. And in his last 5 starts, the Dodgers are 4-1. They're plus 15 in the run differential in his last 5 outings, 37-22. They're scoring 7.4 runs a game to 4.4 for their opponents. And in Lauer's last 5 outings, not really good. 4.62 ERA, a 1.10 whip, and he's giving up 2.64 home runs per 9 in his last 5 outings. So the Dodgers are scoring for him, right? Dodgers are scoring for him in his last 5. But a 4.62 ERA, a 1.10 whip, and a 2.64 home runs per 9. Now, that ERA would be higher if he was if he was giving up more walks. But in 27 and a third in his last 5 outings, he's given up 23 hits, 14 earned runs, 7 walks, and 8 home runs. Not really that good. But the Dodgers are 4-0 when Lauer starts since he's come over from Toronto. So he's riding Dodgers are riding a 4-game winning streak since they've acquired Lauer from Toronto. Now, on the year, Lauer is his teams are 6-4 when he starts this year, plus 13 run differential, 5 over, 5 under. His teams are scoring 5.8 runs a game to 4.2. His team's wins when he starts this year have come against Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, Arizona, Colorado, Boston, and Athletics. And the losses were against Chicago White Sox, Minnesota, LA, Angels, and Tampa Bay. So he's already started against the Twins this year, and he lost that game, and that was with Toronto. In his 10 starts this year, he has a 4.81 ERA, a 1.32 whip, and he's giving up 2.22 home runs per 9 in his starts this year, over 48 and 2/3. So you got to think about it. You're 6-4. Your teams are 6-4 in the year when you win. When you start, your teams win, and again, you're scoring. Your teams are scoring runs. And that could spell trouble. I mean, but the thing that I like about the Dodgers in this spot right here is that they're coming off of a home beating where they were just getting beat, and now they're going on the road here. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this is going to play out for this team in this spot. Considering Lauer, like I said, his teams are 4-1 in his last 5 starts, and in his last 5 outings, 4.62 ERA. And he's given up 2.64 home runs per 9. And in his 10 starts overall this year, 4.81 ERA and 2.22 home runs per 9. So ERA's high over the last 5, home runs per 9 high over the last 5, and over all his games this year, giving up 2.22 home runs per 9. Not really something you want to be doing when you're going against Byron Buxton, who is number 3 in baseball in home runs. So. And Josh Bell, who could drive runs in. So that's that part of the cap. And the bright spot for Lauer is on his teams are 3-1 when he pitches on 6 days rest this year. He's got a 3.01 ERA, a 1.27 whip, but again, giving up 2.17 home runs per 9, even on 6 days rest this year. So if he gets rest, last 5 overall this year, the home runs are a problem for Eric Lauer. And against a team like Minnesota, like we said, Josh Bell that could drive runs in, and Buxton, who's a home run hitter, could spell trouble for them if they have guys on base. And you look at the manager, I don't know why I would have Buxton batting number 2 in this spot. I would probably have moved him to the 4 spot, and maybe move Bell to 5th, and then move Lewis into the number 2 hole, but because you're not really taking advantage of a guy that's hitting number 2 unless the back of your order could get on base. So going to be interesting to see there. Now we're going to look at the Twins, and I don't know if I mentioned this. The Dodgers are minus 154, Twins are plus 130, and the over/under is set at 9.5. I did want to make mention about the Dodgers in a situational angle here. On a Sunday to Monday, so when they played Sunday games at home and went on the road Monday, dating back to last year and this year, in that split, the Dodgers have only seen that twice. They're 0-2, they're minus 12 in that split, 1 over, 1 under. This year in that split, they're 0-1, minus 3 run differential. So going from Sunday at home to Monday on the road with no rest in between before the All-Star break between last year and this year, 0-2 in that spot. Okay, so getting back to the Twins. The Twins, they're playing hot baseball right now. They're 3 games below 500, but they're 7-3 in their last 10. They're 20-19 at home, 7-11 in one-run games, and 2-2 in extra inning games. Now, in home night games this year, the Twins are 13-9, plus 22 run differential, 10 over, 12 under. outscoring their opponents to 115 to 93 runs. They did sweep the Tigers in a series there in home night games, and they're scoring 5.22 runs a game to 4.22 for their opponents. So if we look at their home night compared to the Dodgers road night, again, Dodgers 13 and 12, but plus 49 run differential, whereas the Twins are 13 and 9, but only plus 22 run differential. So, and they're giving up 4.22 runs per game in their home night games, whereas the Dodgers are only giving up 3.28 in their road night games this year. So, something to keep in mind as we cap further. Last 9 overall, Twins playing hot, 7 and 2. Last 9, they're plus 23 in the run differential, 6 over, 3 under in those games, outscoring their opponents 70 to 47. That comes out to 7.77 runs a game to 5.22 for their opponents. And as we said, for the Dodgers last 9, they're only scoring 3.55, and their opponents are scoring 4.66. But they're minus 10 run differential, the Dodgers are in their last 9. Whereas again, Minnesota Twins are plus 23 in their last 9, and a lot of those games were on the road. You got to factor in the fact, guys, that Twins are coming off of a road trip, Arizona to Minnesota, scored a lot of runs. You're coming back home. I could see me leaning towards the Dodgers the more that I look at this, especially Dodgers are a little bit more focused going from the home to the road with no rest, whereas you got a team that's coming off the road. You're seeing family, you're opening mail, you're eating mom's cooking, you're getting it on with your wife, whatever the case may be, your girlfriend. Dodgers are in a little bit more better spot, head-to-head, 6 and 3 in their last 9 versus these guys, 7 and 1 in their last 8 at Minnesota. I know the Twins are playing hot, 7 and 3 in their last 10, and 7 and 2 in their last 9, and 13 and 9 in home night games. So they're looking good. Interleague play, not so good. The Twins, it brings it back to the Dodgers part of the cap. The Twins are 9 and 15 in interleague action this year, minus 10 run differential. And as we said, the Dodgers are 17 and 10 in interleague action, plus 45 run differential. So Twins 9 and 15 in interleague action, 14 over, 10 under. They're scoring 5.37 runs a game to 5.79 for their opponents, their National League counterparts. Whereas the Dodgers are scoring 5.29, but they're only giving up 3.63 runs per game. So, when you look at that, you got to really think, man, this is kind of leaning towards the Dodgers. Now, I know, you don't want to look at the fact that the Dodgers are perfect 4-0 when Lauer started for them, because, again, he does have a 4.81 ERA, 1.32 whip in 10 game starts this year, and he's given up 2.22 home runs per 9. But a team coming off the road scoring as much as they did, going from Arizona to Minnesota, I'm not saying going from LA to Minnesota is much better, but you're playing in the heat, you scored a lot of runs, all the metrics, everything I'm looking at, I can see why the Dodgers are favored here. And when we get into the pitching, you can even see that even. Now, but here is an interesting stat, a situational split. The Minnesota is 6-0 at home off of a road trip this year. So when they've come off the road and come home, they're a perfect 6-0, 5 over, 1 under, plus 27 run differential. They're scoring 9.2 runs per game to 4.66 for their opponents. Something to keep in mind there. And I find that to be very fascinating. But again, splits like that are always going to come back. You don't want to be the guy that's, late to the party, early to the, late to the funeral, or early to the party, or however that saying goes. You don't want to be that guy that's just like, oh, I got on late, So, but I thought that was an interesting stat when Wager Detective was looking for that. Minnesota 6-0 coming off of a home trip, that first game back, whether it was a 3-game trip or a 6-game trip. This year they are 6-0 in that split. Now, we're going to look at who's on the mound for the Twins, and that's going to be Zebby Matthews. I'm not really impressed with Zebby Matthews. I've played him a couple times, and every time I bet him when he starts, he seems to let me down. Now, he is 2-3. The Minnesota Twins are 2-3 in his last 5 outings, -7 run differential in those games. In his last 5 outings, he has a 6.23 ERA, a 1.35 WHIP, and he's giving up 2.08 home runs per 9. Okay? Not good. Not good. Now, we said about Lauer, his last 5 outings, he's got a 4.62 ERA, and he's given up 2.64 home runs per 9. You look at Zebby Matthews' last 5 outings, 30 and a third innings pitched, 6.23 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, and giving up 2.08 home runs per 9. Not good against a Dodgers team that's loaded with bats and guys that are in the top of baseball, what they do. Now, in all his starts this year, the Twins are 3-4 in all his starts, 4 over, 3 under. The run differential is even in all his starts this year. In his 7 starts this year, he has a 1.18 WHIP, 4.78 ERA, and he's giving up 1.66 home runs per 9. So not really something to be impressed with, even though the Twins are playing hot. To me, this is more of a situational angle where, I'm kind of leaning towards the Dodgers here and that chalk, even though they got it put to them by the Orioles this weekend. And, it could be a wake-up call for them, right? But again, they're 49-29 on the year. The hungrier team is going to be Minnesota here, so it should be very, very interesting. Now, if we look at what Matthews has done at home this year, the Twins are 2-1 when he starts at home this year, +9 run differential. He has a 20 innings pitched. He's got a 1.8 ERA, only given up 4 earned runs in 20 innings pitched at home this year. So, you see all those numbers and what guys are giving up. Something to think about in that split. It's a small sample size, only 3 games where they're 2-1, but those games came against Miami, Houston, and Kansas City. I think the Dodgers got a way better lineup than all 3 of those teams. Even though Houston, they got Alvarez, Miami's got a couple guys in Otto Lopez who can hit the ball, and a pretty good lineup in Liam Hicks and Xavier Edwards. But I think the Dodgers clearly better than all those teams. Now, in road start, when he goes from a road start to the home start next game, the Twins are 3-3 this year. They're 4-2 between last year and this year. When Zebby Matthews starts on the road and then goes home in the next start, the Twins are 4-2 in that split over the last 6. He does have a 5.1 ERA, a 1.53 WHIP, but only giving up 0.6 home runs per 9 in those 30 innings pitched. Guys, if I'm looking at this game, I know the Twins are playing hot baseball, but when you look at guys that are batting average, I got 3 guys in top 60 for the Dodgers that are with batting average. Ohtani, number 12 in baseball, batting .297. Then you got Freeman, number 48, batting .273. And you got Pages, who's going to be in there batting second. Andy Pages, who's batting .268. On the other side, you only got 1 guy in the top 100 that's batting. You got Buxton batting, coming in at number 42, batting .275. Now, when it comes to home runs, Dodgers got a bevy of guys. Muncy with 16, Ohtani with 16, Pages with 15, Freeman with 12. You only got 1 guy, and that's Buxton. Coming off the road, coming home, even though Lauer does give up home runs, it's going to be interesting to see here. They're hitting the ball well. Now, RBIs, I got 3 guys in the top 55 for the Dodgers with RBIs. Pages, number 3 in baseball with 57. You got Ohtani, number 35 in baseball with 43 RBIs, and you got Freeman, number 52 in baseball with 40. On the other side, they got guys that knocked the ball in. You got Bell, number 21 in baseball with 48. Lee, as you see there, is Lee going to be in the lineup? Yeah, Brooks Lee. He's going to be batting number 7. Guys, number 30th in baseball with 44 RBIs, and then you got Buxton with 40. Number 52 in baseball. So when you look at that, both these teams have guys that can hit RBIs, but the more power, the more slug, higher batting average, it goes to the Dodgers. Now, stolen bases, you got Pages with 7, and on Minnesota's side, you got Keyshaw with 11, Martin with 8, Okay, and you got Buxton with 7. And then when it comes to saves, if it's coming down to a close game, you got Tanner Scott, who's number 18 in baseball for the Dodgers with 9 saves. And when you look at this, I didn't see anybody when I went to the ESPN stats. I didn't see anybody that was saves. But when you look in all of baseball, the Minnesota Twins are number 10 in baseball with 22 saves, and the Dodgers are number 18 with 19 saves. So believe it or not, Minnesota's got guys in the bullpen that can string together saves. But look at the Dodgers, number 2 in baseball in RBI, number 3 in baseball in home runs, and number 1 in baseball in batting average. I'm not saying the Twins are that far behind. They're 12 in number 12 in baseball in batting average, number 10 in baseball in home runs, and number 6 in baseball in RBI. So you got 2 top 10 teams with RBIs going against these pitchers. Guys, if I'm looking at this, the only thing that scares me off of an over here is both teams are, one team's coming from the home to the road and the other team's coming from both teams are traveling. I just find it hard to believe that you're going to be that, not that you're not focused, but you got to settle in. You're coming, Minnesota's going to be a little bit more comfortable, but they're coming off the road. You're coming from Arizona to Minnesota. I would look to see how far of a trip that is. And then you look at the Dodgers. Both teams traveling. Now, if, let's say the Dodgers were playing another team close to Minnesota, I'd be like, okay, you're traveling, you're used to it, but you're coming off a homestand. And, you could look at that, but I find the advantage in this spot, even though both these pitchers give up home runs and this, that, the other, I feel like the advantage is for the pitchers in this game, because they already know where they were going to be at in the rotation. It's so easy to take the over in this game because of how both teams are can hit the ball. Dodgers are going to come out fired up. They got all these metrics that lead you to believe that there's going to be runs scored. And look at all the left-handed bats that the Twins are going to be seeing, that Zebby Matthews is going to be seeing here. And you got switch hitters over there, but for Minnesota, guys, if I'm looking at this game, let's go to see what that line is. You want to hope that line kind of dropped from what it was earlier. But if we look at the Dodgers, the Dodgers are -1. Oh, look, it switched right in front of us. How awesome was that? It was -154, and now it's -148. Money's coming in on the Twins. Guys, give me the Dodgers here. Give me the Dodgers here. And Lauer's record, the Dodgers record when Lauer goes to 5-0. I just think in this spot, I just like them a little bit more based off the situational angle, based off the metrics. I would lean the over here, but the only thing that's keeping me from doing that is the situational angle. Remember, Wager Detective said this. You got 2 teams that traveled yesterday. It's not like one team stayed at home from series to series. Minnesota's coming off the road, right? Coming home, coming from Arizona nonetheless. And the Dodgers are traveling all the way from LA to Minnesota. I would take the over, considering, but I just feel like the situational spot for both these teams is just not the right angle to take that over, even though it looks like it could be juicy. So I'm calling the under in this game. But more importantly, I'm calling the Dodgers as my stronger lean here. I know it's a chalk play. I'm not in love with the chalk, but the line's moving towards Minnesota. I believe that's square money that's coming in. So that's the call here. Wager Detective calling the Dodgers here, -148, and he's calling the under 9.5 in this game. Was it still 9.5? Let's take a look here. Did I see that right? Yeah, so 9.5. So people are already pounding that over at -122. You're looking at the pitching, I get it. But if you look at certain situational splits, how Zebby Matthews pitches at home, the ERA drops. And if you look at, what was the other stat that we had here about Lauer, where the ERA drops? What was the split there? Oh, on the road. No, 3-1 on 6 days rest. He's going to have 6 days rest here. So he had extra time to prepare for Minnesota. He knew when he was going to get the start. Both these guys are going to come out, not necessarily shove, but if you get no runs in the first 3 innings, which is very possible with 2 teams traveling, you're going to clear that under pretty good. So that's the call here. Wager Detective calling the Dodgers money line, and he's calling under 9.5 at plus money, plus 100. Dodgers minus 154 on the money line. This is Wager Detective. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook. Set alerts on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. And see what he's doing on Instagram as well. Guys, I love all my fans out there, present and future. And I'm going to talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in. Share this with all your friends. I'll talk to you soon, and I love all you guys. Later.